I have a 2-year-old daughter now, and as I think about her upbringing, I just look at so many kids now, and I don't think that there's like enough group participation in terms of some of the activities they do. There's a lot of focus now on individual sports. As I ask those questions, I feel like a lot of peers and friends funnel those daughters into dance, into gymnastics, into tennis, into golf, into swimming, sports that feel to me like pretty individualized. You're part of a team, but you're not really part of a team. When I think about great teams, I don't think about a collection of A plus individual contributors. I think about a group of folks who have complementary skills and how do they work together to create something for the greater good. You don't have to have 5 Michael Jordans or 5 LeBron James on the basketball court. You have to have one of those guys and role players around them, or everyone has to know their role, right? It's not even fair to say you have to have one of those guys. You have to have people who know their role and know how they contribute, and or a leader who can look across the team and say, I have this talent here, this talent here, this talent here. Here's how I'll most effectively pair those together and go that way. That's why you see crazy success in books like Working Genius or all the stuff from Patrick Lencioni and all the teaming stuff there. I think makes a ton of sense because you basically have to leverage people's talents and really amplify what they do best and navigate away from some of their areas for improvement or weakness. To make a long tie back, maybe that's one of the things that ultimately led to closing my chapters at Accenture, where think that there were things when you go through a 100,000 person performance review perspective, you get you get 3 strengths and you get 3 weaknesses because that's the way the template looks. You don't always feel like the team leads or your leaders are saying, you're really good at this. I want to figure out how to 100x you doing that. So I think in terms of personal satisfaction at work and leadership development or team development, find out what makes people perform their best and amplify the crap out of it. And what they don't do nearly as well, figure out what level that needs to get to, or how do you make that not something that takes away from the team, but steer away from it because it's not something that they're ever going to lean into and say, hey, that what was my weakness is not my greatest strength in most cases from my experience.
As you mentioned before, go find the person who's going to support you and help you grow, challenge you to be better and challenge you to really expand on the things that you're really good at and recognize the things that you're good at, as opposed to just thinking about maybe themselves or them getting to the next level.
Yeah, totally agree. We participate in a lot of groups. Our circle contains a lot of our fraternity brothers. My wife is in a group called YPO. I get exposed to another small circle there. There's a number of these small circles. I don't feel like historically I've done a good enough job to tap into those for how do you really leverage those as your circle of influence to work through challenges or problems. We tend to go to our job, to come back, to socialize with our friends. They're all these compartmentalized things. Whereas I've realized in the last couple of years and where I've really been able to tap into that is to take my greatest friends and to be most vulnerable with them about things I'm working through or challenged by and getting their advice because they've either been through them or at least understand enough about me to try and give me advice or context of like, hey, I know you. So like this would be a good approach for you. You should be thinking about it this way. To your point, those are the people that believe in you the most. So they're most incented to see you succeed or navigate that situation and get from point A to point B, whether that's a dark place to a great place, whether that's from good to great, whatever that's going to be. You have your circle of folks who are really going to advocate for you and try and push you through those things.